Welcome back, everybody, to the South Carolina Gamecocks revamped dynasty today. Your Gamecocks are 8-0 to start the year. They have a big opportunity here to start 9-0 before we get into what is most definitely the toughest stretch of the season. Today we take on a team that hasn't won a single game yet. The Commodores are 0-8 on the year, maybe 0-7, but I believe they have played 8 games already, and they have not won a single one. So the Gamecocks need to come in here, take care of business, and not play around too much, in my opinion, if they want to prepare themselves for next week against Florida. But the Vanderbilt Commodores will come out on the field. They have a veteran quarterback in Ken Seals. He has been good, but not great. 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions isn't terrible, but they're going to start the day with a 2-yard run with Chase Gillespie, so they find themselves on a quick 3-and-out opportunity, 3rd and 2. Gillespie's going to get met in the backfield. He throws one man away, but he gets tackled by O'Donnell Fortune coming in there late in the after Stone Blanton gets thrown to the side, so the Gamecocks want to start their drive positive. They get it to Scott Hall, and he's got a 7-yard catch. The tight end has been very big for this offense. So now a 3rd and 4, though. Caneri's under pressure, looks to throw, but he's brought down quickly. A loss of 8 yards, and the Gamecocks are now going to punt it back to the Commodores. 2nd and 2 now. It's going to be a run to Chase Gillespie. He's going to get it to the left side. Banks is going to take them down in a 1-yard gain. Now 3rd and 1, another 3rd down, 3-and-out opportunity for this defense. It's a big rush down the middle. It's Gillespie to the outside. Imanori and Nelson bring him down. That's a loss of 4, and the Commodores offense continues to stink up the backfield there. They have not been able to get anything going on the ground. Caneri this time is going to find Rucker, who breaks off of a man out past the 40, or to past the 50 to the 46. He's pushed out of bounds now. 3rd and 10 for the Gamecocks offense later on down the field, about 3 minutes and remaining, and this one's intercepted by Lloyd, the defensive back. He's going to run it back a few yards. He's got about a 7-yard return. Caneri had Scott Hall wide open, and he just misses this one. If he leads them to the outside to the right, that is a touchdown, possibly at minimum a big 15 to 20-yard gain, but instead Julius Caneri just misses the throw. And just like that, the Commodores are in trouble right now as they get the ball, and they're going to bring it up, and it's going to be a nice gain of about 2, but still a 3rd and 8 now for the Commodores. Ken Seals in the backfield all alone. He's going to want to throw the screen this time to Quincy Skinner Jr. Skinner Jr.'s got some space down the field, some good blocking, and he's breaking tackles down right around the 15-yard line. He's got 33 yards on that first catch of the day for Skinner. He has been very big for this Vanderbilt offense. Now Seals on 2nd and inches. He's got nowhere to go, and Rory Patrick has the record for most sacks in a season by a Gamecocks player. That is a big milestone right there. If you're a Gamecock fan, Rory Patrick, what a job he has done right now as the defensive lineman for the Gamecocks. So the Vanderbilt Commodores, final seconds of the first quarter. Seals wants to run it. He's met by Stone Blanton. He does a great job of bringing him down, and just like that, the Commodores are going to settle for their first field goal of the day, but they go up 3-0 on the number 2 team in the country now, 2nd and 4. In the second quarter, Caneri, play action, he calls it off, rolls backwards, launches it too far, but it's caught. Corey Rucker makes a diving catch, and he does a great job, beats the man off the line of scrimmage by just a few inches, and Caneri just throws it as far as he could possibly throw it, and Rucker goes out there, and he lays out for that one. So the Gamecocks now cooking in Vanderbilt territory. 1st and 10 now. Caneri's going to go to the outside. This is Rucker again. Oh, man, I thought he would have been able to turn upfield and get into the end zone, but now they face a 3rd and 1. They are 0 of 2 on 3rd downs, but this time Marshawn's going to change that with a touchdown. He spun around into the end zone. I believe he already crossed the goal line before he was spun down. That's a 7-yard run for Marshawn Lloyd. A great job by the offensive line just parting the Red Seas. And there is a big bounce-back touchdown for the Gamecocks offense. It's now 7-3, and the Commodores are going to be looking to get back on the scoreboard now. 1st and 10, it's going to be a run to Gillespie. He is brought down by the face mask. I believe that was O'Donnell Fortune. That's going to give them a big big boost now in Gamecock territory after the penalty. About 5 minutes remain. Gillespie's going to take the run to the outside, 1st and 10, and he's got the first down and going to make it another 1st and 10. A missed tackle by Anthony Rose is going to cause the first down to be made, and they're going to go to the backup now. Dylan Betts-Polly is going to have a 2-yard loss, so now setting up a 3rd and 13 for the Gamecocks defense to defend. Seals is going to make a pass and had 2 guys in the area, but didn't really have anybody open or anybody that would have been able to go for the first down, so they settle for another short field goal. That makes it 7-6, and Marshawn, a very physical 7-yard run. He had to break a few tackles just for that. Now 2nd and 3 on the very next play. Julius Caneri's going to go off the read option, keep it himself, and he's got the first down, 5 yards. He has been sacked a few times today, so he's looking to maybe get the offense going a little bit more. Now 1st and 10, Caneri has Marshawn blocking. He wants to go deep down the field to Rucker again in double coverage, and he comes down with it. He threw that one up there, and he just said, Corey, go and get it, and he does just that. Look at this, beautifully thrown right where it needs to be, and Corey Rucker does everything he can do to come down with that one. Now 1st and goal on the next play. Caneri, quick pass on the slant, and Rucker's got the touchdown. 2-yard receiving touchdown for Corey Rucker. And the Gamecocks extend their lead 14-6 now, as the Commodores' offense has struggled to finish their drives, but they're going to have a 3rd and 7 catch by Will Shepard. The committee and the cavalry comes in to bring them down, so they are going to be forced to punt it away rather quickly. Now 1st and 10, Caneri looks like he wants to go deep again. This one's a little underthrown, and it's intercepted by Ugo Chuwu. And that is a big pick six, or not a pick six, a pick for the Commodores defense. They have an opportunity now to score before half. The Gamecocks would have loved to have that one back. 2nd and 4 for Seals and company. Seals this time is going to run it. He's got some space, and he is lit up by Debo Williams, but he's got 9 yards. As we come near the final minute of the game, of the second quarter, and that is a big catch by Will Shepard. He's going to have 10 yards and right at a first down, but the Commodores would find themselves in a 3rd and 15 hole later on that same drive. Seals steps up, fires to the outside, and this one's caught. Skinner had a beautiful toe tap catch, so now they're in hurry-up mode on a 3rd and 2. It's dropped by Cole Spence. And the Commodores, despite a great drive here late to end the second quarter, they're going to settle for another short field goal. You can't win games if you keep kicking field goals every chance you get, and they are basically doing that every chance they get, and this is going to start the second half off with the Lavesa Carroll kickoff return. He's got some space out to the left side across the 40. Got to beat a couple of guys out to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. He beats the final man, and he's all the way to the end zone. Lavesa Carroll, 101 yards. Big return there for the special teams, and the Gamecocks go up 21-9 here to start the second half. Now 2nd and 15. Seals makes a pass to Skinner, who gets past the first line of defense, and he's got a 15-yard catch and a first down for the Commodores. Now 1st and 10. Seals steps back, fires across off his back foot, falling backwards, and Will Shepard and Quincy Skinner continue to carry this offense. Now 1st and 15 here. Deep in Gamecock territory now in the red zone after a couple of plays. Seals under center. He wants to throw this one immediately. A screen, and this one's to Gillespie, but he's got a 5-yard loss. Gilbert Edmond read it perfectly, and he just made a beautiful tackle. So now a 3rd and 20. Seals is going to go to the outside. He's got an open man, but he can't stay in bounds. He's got 17 yards, but still not a first down. That was Jaden McGowan. His first catch of the day goes for that big game. But the Commodores offense, once again, I was very shocked. They trotted out on the field, and they went for another field goal here. 4th and 3, and he's got it down the middle of the goalpost. So that is a 12-21 score now for Caneri and company. It's a 1st and 10 now. Scott Hall's going to catch this one, and he's got a nice first down gain of about 12 to 13 yards. Now 1st and 10, Caneri's going to go to Marshawn, who's going to run up the middle of the field. A great job of evading the tackler, and that sets up a 3rd and inches for the Gamecocks. They're 1 of 3 on 3rd downs today. Caneri, he's going to go to pass this one for 3rd and inches, and under pressure, and he hits it, but he gets it out of his hands, and somehow they did not call that a fumble. So on 4th and inches, Marshawn's on the stretch. They were expecting an ISO formation right down the middle, And instead, the Gamecocks go a little bit elusive there, and that is a big gain there. So 2nd and 4 now for Canary and company. He's going to stand in the pocket, find Lloyd, who spins off of a few tacklers. He's got a 1st and goal at about the 1 yard line. So now make it a 2nd and goal from the same spot after an incomplete pass. Canary wants to throw, fires back into the end zone, and it's a spinning catch for Landon Sampson off the slant. Going to be credited with a 1 yard touchdown catch. You don't see those very often, but that is a good throw. A little behind him. You would have liked him to lead him a little bit longer, but with how bad our offensive line's been, Julius Canary's kind of having to step back in the pocket and make big throws, but Ken Seals is going to get thrown down by Gilbert Edmond. That's his 2nd tackle for loss, his 1st sack of the day. He just does a great job going on the outside move past the lineman. Seals, nobody even open. He almost was about to throw it. It could have been a fumble, but they're going to have to punt it back to the Gamecocks now. 2nd and 4 for Canary and company. He's going to go this time to Hall off the double move, and that's a 16-yard catch. That's the one that he got intercepted on earlier, so a very good sign that he's confident enough to make the throw still. Canary on 1st and 10, though, has to just take the 12-yard sack. And that is a 3rd and 22 now for the Gamecocks here. Final 30 seconds of the 3rd. It's a pass to Robinson, who breaks a few tackles on the slant, but he is slung down. They're going to have to settle for a field goal here to start the 4th quarter, as Clark is going to step into this one, and he shanks it left. So the Commodores still just a couple scores away from tying this one up here as we head into the 4th quarter, and they get the ball back now. 2nd and 5. Gillespie is wrapped up on the outside. O'Donnell Fortune, he's got a 3rd and 8 now for this Commodores defense or offense. Gamecocks could get a big stop here. Seals wants to throw. He's got Shepard, though, open, and a good job by the receiver to find the open spot on the man coverage. And that is a good position there for the Vanderbilt Commodores to be in as they set up a 1st and 10 right around midfield. Seals is going to pitch this one on the option, and Gillespie doesn't have much space. He has been fairly successful running the ball today, but that time he didn't really get too much, so that sets up a 3rd and 8 for Seals and company. Seals rolling out, trying to outrun everybody, but there's 3 defensive linemen there. Alex Huntley, Tonka Hemingway, and Rory Patrick are all there, and that is a big sack. Now 4th and 19. Seals is hit again, and he fumbles it. TJ Sanders picks it up, and the big man rumbling down past the 5 and into the end zone. What a turn of events there for the Gamecocks. TJ Sanders, number 90, the defensive tackle, makes a big play there as he jumps onto that fumble and returns it all the way back to the end zone. A big turnover there for the Gamecocks. And the Commodores now feeling much more pressure here with 5:40 remaining. Seals is tripped up again, and he's sacked by Alex Huntley. I keep saying Tonka Hemingway. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. 3rd and 13 now. Seals stepping into it. He fires this one, and Skinner does have a nice catch there for a 1st down. A little bit of momentum lost there for this Gamecocks defense, but they face a 3rd and 7 now. In 4-down territory the rest of this game. Seals is going to fire to Shepard. He spins off of him, and he's got the 1st down and then some. That's a 10-yard catch and run by Will Shepard. A nice job. Tackled. He was touched behind the 1st down, but he did a great job of getting past the first defender. This time they get another 1st down off of Cole Spence tight end reception as he is lit up. And they are going to move deep into the red zone now inside the 10, right around the 6-yard line. 2nd and 3. Seals tripped up initially, stays on his feet, but he's sacked again. That's going to be a big job there by the Gamecocks defensive line. They continue to be successful now. 3rd and 3. Seals out of the shotgun, rolling out, firing to Spence, and he's got another near 1st down, and they're going to credit him with the 4-yard gain and a 1st and goal now. 3rd and goal, trying to capitalize on this field position. And it's a pass play. Seals wants to throw it. He finds Shepard, who doesn't get into the end zone. 6 yards again, right to about the 1-yard line. So the clock continues to click. They're 0-1 on 4th downs today. 4th and goal. Skinner goes in motion. Seals under pressure. Fires into the back of the end zone. And Cole Spence has got the 1-yard catch. They would not be able to really come back in this one, even if they have a miracle, I imagine. But they do not get the 2-point conversion. So the Gamecocks will have the ball deep in Vanderbilt territory after a nice kick return with time clicking down. Good run there on the read option. Marshawn's going to get them the first down. Now 2nd and 4. Caneri's going to hold it to the last second. He pitches it to Marshawn, who breaks off into the right side past the 15 and out about the 12-yard line. Now 1st and 10. The final 5 seconds left. Caneri is going to throw it. Shocking decision. He goes to the end zone, and it's caught. Corey Rucker, 14 yards, and just like that, the Gamecocks are going to settle this one 42-18. As you can see, they're going to squib kick it to end the day. Dylan Betts-Polly is going to return it, and we are now 9-0 on the year, 10 yards on that return. The Gamecocks have a great record going into next week, which is going to be our week 12. We are off of a bye week. We are number 3 in the country after that win, and we have to take on the number 10 Florida Gators. The Gators are 7-2, but we will look at that matchup in just a few minutes, as I would love to recap this Vanderbilt game because it had some ups and downs. Caneri threw a couple interceptions, but he really came out of his shell there in that second half, and he made some big plays for us to take or run away with this game. And then, I mean, come on now. You always got to love it when a big man gets a touchdown. And TJ Sanders getting the touchdown there to end the day. That is just a great sight to see. So the Gamecocks are now 9-0. The Commodores are now 0-9. They have not won a single game. Really haven't even had a close one. As far as yardage goes, they actually had more total offense than we did. They had more rushing yards than we did by a lot because sacks are counted in that. They had 2 less passing yards than we did. They were much better than us on 3rd down conversion percentage. They were better or worse than us on 4th down, but just by a little bit. So, I mean, you could argue they played better. We had 2 turnovers. They had 1. They had more yardage. But then you look at total yards and a kick return touchdown, a fumble recovery return for a touchdown, 577 total yards. Vanderbilt had basically, more than double the amount of time of possession we had. So that's very, very impressive. Julius Caneri, 17 for 25, 240 yards. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the day, 68% completion percentage. I was happy with this performance. I wish the interceptions wouldn't have been there because this game would have been a whole lot, much more of a blowout than it already was. Marshawn, 16, 103 and a touchdown. Caneri after sacks was -15, so don't really pay attention to that too much. Corey Rucker, 7 catches, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Scott Hall had 3 receptions for 37 yards, not a single touchdown for him. Landon Sampson, 3 for 33 and a touchdown as well. Great all-around passing game and receiving game there. Stone Blanton, 10 tackles, 9 solo, 1 for loss. Debo Williams had 8 tackles. We also had Alex Huntley with 3 sacks of his 6 tackles. Gilbert Edmond had 2 sacks. We also had Rory Patrick with a sack and 2 tackles for loss. He broke the record for most sacks in a regular season. And Cliff Robinson with 1 sack as well. So the Gamecocks all around just a great defensive game. The forced fumble, obviously, I believe was going to be forced by Gilbert Edmond. Then we have fumble recoveries. TJ Sanders up here, he would have the fumble pickup. And the where is TJ at? TJ is way down here. He had the fumble recovery, the 34-yard touchdown return, a big turn of events there. That really turned the day around, in my opinion. Matthew Clark misses his 1 field goal attempt. I was disappointed, but not shocked, honestly. And now we did have a bye week. So if you look at the scores and schedules, we might have moved down to number 3, or we did move down to number 3, as you guys will probably see. Oregon was able to jump us after they beat up on number 9 Utah. Then you have Oklahoma, who was number 1. Oregon jumped both us and Oklahoma after that win against Utah, so they have a big opportunity to be in the BCS championship, or also the national championship, as I should call it. So we have to play Oklahoma, we have to play Florida, we have to play Clemson, and then we also have to play whoever wins the SEC West. So if we win all those games, we are pretty much solidified as a national championship spot. But it's going to be tough to win all those games, especially looking at how good some of those teams are. If we look at the scores and schedules for last week, or for the week before last, where we didn't end up playing. So let me see. So if we go to top 25, You've got some big matchups. Penn State beat up on Nebraska 44-17. Rutgers dominated by Ohio State. Michigan State upsets Michigan. They are now 23rd and 22nd in the country. Michigan State dominated them 28-6. NC State 45-26 over North Carolina. So both of those teams now have 2 losses, but North Carolina has 2 in-conference losses. Central Michigan upsets Toledo. They are now 25th in the country. East Carolina bounces back after a couple of losses. They win against Louisiana Tech 21-18. Oklahoma State 31-28. UCF almost beats Baylor 41-34. The Bears are number 7 in the country. Arizona State gets dominated by Oregon. Tulane dominates Southern Miss. Then we have Notre Dame in a rivalry game against Navy. They squeak by with a 7-point win. Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville. They beat them by a touchdown, so Florida loses their 2nd of the year, and they are now number 10 in the country, as we saw. UNLV takes down Fresno. Fresno is 1-8. The Red Raiders, if I could speak. UNLV is going to be 7-2, number 21 in the country. Syracuse beats up on Louisville 42-21. Duke almost beats Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech now 6-3, an impressive year for them. They are 17 in the country. Florida State loses to Miami in that rivalry game 42-28, and UCLA loses to Utah. As we round out this week's matchups, we have USC beating Arizona State, Cincinnati beating Texas Tech, and then we'll go into our bye week last week, which I already simulated past. Cincinnati beats up on Kansas 38-14. Oklahoma beats up on Rutgers 33-14. It says 34-14 at the bottom, then it says 33-17 at the top, so I'm not sure what the score was, but Oklahoma won. Now we have Iowa State beat up on Oklahoma State. Oregon beat Utah by 3, so that was a big primetime matchup. Baylor beat BYU by 10. UNLV beat Boise State by 10. Michigan beats Purdue. I'm trying to see if there's any other interesting ones. East Carolina, a team I've been pulling for this whole series whenever they've been ranked. They dominate Tulsa, so they get to 7-2 as we saw. Georgia beats ULM just barely by a touchdown. Northwestern dominated by Notre Dame. Ohio State, man, they squeak by Penn State by 4 points. Big win for the Buckeyes. Clemson beats Florida State, so Florida State drops 2 straight now as they go from 7-0 to 7-2. NC State beats Boston College. Vanderbilt lost to Florida. They are now 0-9. 31-10 is the score there for that one. Alabama 42-21 over LSU in the final few games. Miami beats Georgia Tech, so Georgia Tech this is how they got their 3rd loss. And USC squeaks by the Aggies there 38-35, and that is how we ended up at number 3 in the country instead of number 2. And as far as recruiting goes, I've actually finally got some good news for you guys. We had a couple of commits because of visits, and we should have few more commits coming through in the next few weeks, as this is really big recruiting season. So first off, we were able to get our 4-star tight end out of Missouri, Glenn Young, 6'4", 247 pounds. He committed to us over Florida, Oklahoma, LSU, and Texas A&M. All of those teams had offers on the board for him, so very excited to see him at minimum provide some depth there at the tight end position. Then we have 2 outside linebackers I'm pretty excited about. We're going to start with the local man out of Lake City, South Carolina, Ike Martinez. He is a 6'3", 221-pound, as of right now, 77 overall outside linebacker, but he could drop, he could stay the same. We don't know because I haven't scouted, because that's the rule right there as my controller is trying to disconnect here. We only have a few minutes left, so hopefully I can finish it out. Lawrence Vinson is there, a 4-star out of Illinois. He's 6'2", 215 pounds. He's a 78 overall outside linebacker, so our depth there is good. Our tackle, Keith Williams out of Georgia, we were able to get a 2-star. Hopefully he can just provide us with some depth. And now we're going to have a couple of guys I'm going after. First off, we've got athlete Quentin McCauley, new to the board from Idaho. He is a 6'2", 214-pound, most likely defensive lineman, or defensive back, I should say. So I want to see if we can convince him to come to South Carolina. Eli Alexander is a 3-star free safety out of California. He is a 72 overall, but we're behind on 95 points from him. Then we have Mark Scott down 1,600, but we've still got our visit this week. And I'm excited to see how many points we can jump up. We've got Bernard Cantrell, a 65 overall guard. We are down or up by 260 on OSU. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a bunch of points off the visit, really, and just jump up even farther or get him to commit because he visits in a few weeks. Antoine King is a guy we're down up 730 on the Trojans, but they don't have a visit. We've got our visit this week, so maybe that can finish the deal for him. Lawrence Smith, Blake Tate, Joe Campbell, John White is pretty much already committed. Ryan Clayton is a guy we're going after heavy. He visits this week against Florida, so hopefully we're able to take down the Gators and get a lot of rushing yards because that is going to be a big visit for us. We desperately need him to get on this roster right now. Justin Long is here, though, as well as a backup option. Obviously, he's not nearly as good. Chris Robinson is a guy I'm going after, and Eugene Reed, which we have him on a visit this week as well, so hopefully we can convince him to commit, but he's got 5 schools that are fully stacked on his radar, so it's going to be a battle to get him. But anyways, guys, that is going to settle this week as we have a big matchup next episode against the Gators. As I mentioned, they are number 10 in the country. We've got 5 prospects visiting. Statistically, they're better than us in scoring, total offense, rushing offense. We're slightly better in passing offense. They are better than us in total defense, and we are better than them in rushing defense. They are much better than us in passing defense, though, and the turnover differential, they are number 12 in the country at getting turnovers. They're a positive 6. We are a negative 6. So that is a big thing to look at. Anthony Richardson on the year has above 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And then you've got Johnson, their running back, with 6 touchdowns, 838 yards in a big season for them. Julius Canary, though, after today, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Pretty satisfied, but we really desperately need him to step up these next few weeks and play as good as possible. But if you're excited for next episode, stay tuned to check it out whenever I post it in a couple of days. I will see you guys as we take on the 7-2 Florida Gators here in week 12. I hope all of you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.